Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we are back in Montana. I know what you guys are probably thinking. Well, Spartan, didn't we just have a Montana game? And the answer is yes, you had a couple of Montana games. But here's another one. Why is that? Well, it's because you guys watch these. Now, don't get me wrong, there are certain videos that I know are going to do well, and it's pretty much anything with "meet the" in the title. Literally anything with "meet the" in the title does pretty well on most occasions. It doesn't matter what ship class or anything. However, once I've done a "meet the" on them, any more videos that I do, unless it's a big battleship where I do some really good damage, like it just doesn't get the viewership that I would look for. And it makes sense because I'm a battleship main, so I understand that the majority of my viewer base would be battleship seekers or battleship people themselves. So it makes sense. But a lot of people always ask me, literally, Spartan, you only do like the same 4 ships over and over again. And the answer is, again, it's because what you guys want to watch. So if you guys got anything you would like to watch, let me know down in the comments below, and I will try to make it happen. Also, I am working on another video in the near future. It's going to be a tier list. It's been a while since we've done a tier list, so keep in mind that we will be doing a tier list of the, I think, probably going to do tier 8 and legendary tier battleships together. Now, we did a tech tree battleship tier list a while back, and I don't remember exactly. It's been like a year ago at this point, maybe longer. So it's been a long time. But we did like a tier 7 tech tree tier list for battleships, and I think that went pretty well. But we're going to go ahead and jump in and do a tier list of the tier 8 battleships and the legendary tier battleships at the same time. And we will talk about which ones are which and what goes where, and what you guys can look forward to when taking those ships into battle. Now, anyway, so we're on Shattered. And we do something a little bit different, but not different than we normally do on most maps, but on this map in particular, I do something a little bit different. Usually, I don't go out to the flanks on this map in a battleship. I tend to stick to the interior. But I spawned out here, and I decided, let's give it a shot. So right off the bat, we're looking, we've got a bow-in battleship, and then we've got a broadside Frederick de Grossa who's turning behind the island, so we got to take that shot. And fortunately, we're able to take the shot while we've got the cover of the island, and we land a solid hit. Nothing crazy. We're already up to 20k. It's not the greatest start, but not bad. Shima's being chased down by a Cabo, which you'd love to see. This is my favorite style of Cabo player. Or, no, it's Clubbear, sorry. But it's my favorite style of destroyer players, when you get the destroyer player that is willing to go kill the other destroyers. I know, it sounds like it would be like, you know, normal. But you'd be surprised how many destroyer players just refuse to kill other destroyers. As soon as they get contact, they just run away. And doesn't matter what their ship is, that's just how it goes. Now we get shot here, nothing major. You can see that I am looking for crossfires. I've got somebody in the middle of the cap. So I'm trying to keep an eye out in case they spot him. We do have a destroyer there. But they're not getting spotted, so we're just going to go ahead. Oh, never mind. They're spotted, Spartan. But he's still behind the island, so we can't shoot him. Instead, we've got a Marco Polo, who's still bow in. And it looks like maybe definitely took a torpedo there. He's starting to back up, I think. You can see I'm measuring up. Instead of just rushing shots into a bow-in opponent who doesn't have much in the way of superstructure health, you can see I'm trying to look around. And finally, we're rewarded for our patience with a Marco Polo who comes around the corner. Unfortunately, he's also paying attention and manages to get a full broadside away at us and get angled, and we do nothing. It's really unfortunate. I was hoping that guy would just come out all willy-nilly, not be paying attention, and we would be able to blap him and send him back to port very, very quickly. Didn't happen. It sucks when people pay attention. Situational awareness. It works both ways, folks. It works for you, it works for the enemy. So pay attention. But here he's angled pretty well, so we're going to go superstructure here. We've got a pretty good look at his superstructure, so we should be able to punish that pretty hard. He does get it in reverse, however, and keeps himself from losing a ridiculous amount of health. And he gets a good shot on us as well, so well done to him. We're going to go forward. Now we've got the island to our right, protected us. And we've got a Frederick de Grosse that has moved up as well. We've got a good chance to chunk him, and anytime I get a chance to shoot a Frederick de Grosse or a Grosse Kurfürst, like, it's just easy damage. It really is. And especially if they decide to do what this man's about to do, which is go full broadside, knowing full well there is a Montana with 12 American armor piercing. I'll take the damage hit here. Like, yeah, look, ooh, he really hurt me, and back in, like, we hit him with 10 out of 12 shells for 20,000 damage. That's the difference. All right, Montana just slaps different. You can't take that hit from a Montana. I can take that hit from a Frederick de Grosse. Now look at the Frederick de Grosse. He actually beached himself, and he's broadside. Still. Marco goes down, and I look off the bow again, and do we need to go broadside, or do we need to go broadside? No. We're just going to fire the front guns. And look how ridiculously accurate those front guns are. Another 10,800 damage. Just with front gun. It's disgusting how good this ship really is if people are dumb enough to give you a broadside. And if they're not, you just farm their superstructure and make them want to go broadside. When you slap their superstructure for 15 to 20,000 damage while they're bow in, they get disheartened and they immediately make a mistake. Or at least more often than not, they make a mistake. And that's why the Montana is just so nasty. I know a lot of people were like, oh, but the Yami and blah, and we gotta be able to overmatch and blah. And you just trust me. Accuracy by volume, meaning, oh, but Spartan, the Conqueror has 12 guns. The GK has 12 guns. The Yami gets 9 guns, but it gets bigger shells, so it's better in every way, right? No, it's just not. The accuracy in being able to land shells on target. There is only one battleship that comes close at Legendary tier in terms of its accuracy and consistency, and that is Conqueror. And while Conqueror I do consider to be better than the Montana, it's solely due to the fact that HE is literally throwing thermonuclear weapons downrange. Like, you don't have to think. There's no, oh, I need to hit the superstructure, I need to hit this weak spot of the ship. No, you load the HE with Big 7, you throw it down range, and you beat the hell out of everything for 15 to 20,000 damage every time you pull the trigger, and you set fires 90% of the time. It is that simple. So Conqueror and Yami, while I do consider them better than the Montana, personally I prefer to use the Montana over those two. And the reason being, I prefer a challenge, and it's much more fun for me to just beat everybody up with a Montana because everybody says it's so bad. But first shot, downrange, Conqueror gets blacked. Big surprise. He's literally sailing in reverse, over-angled, not full broadside to us, but pretty well broadside. Broadside enough for American armor piercing to make you feel real bad about yourself. So here we fire the front guns. We're now exposing ourselves to a Yami. I know, phrasing. But we're going to try to turn in. Again, we've got armor. It's not that big a deal. We've got all of our hit points as well. We do manage to smack the Conqueror once again. Here I make a mistake. And the mistake that I make is actually going and DCing, knowing full well that this Conqueror is going to get one more shot off before I get around this island. So we've got a beautiful look at him, and we get the full broadside. Did you see the firing angles on this thing? That's the other thing people don't realize about the Montana. The firing angles are disgusting. You can slap the crap out of somebody, and of course he would double fire me, right? That's what I get. That's what I get for using my damage con too early. You guaranteed to get double fired. And of course, nobody can kill him right away, so they end up waiting, and then he gets finished off after he double fires me. Now, Yami is bow in. So we're going to go superstructure, and we need to try to bait this guy into shooting our belt armor here, because if he shoots our bow, it's going to hurt. And he's not taking the bait. He's going straight for bow. Fortunately, it's a Yami, and he doesn't get the best dispersion on the planet, and so we get very fortunate there. But while we're burning twice, we're thinking, okay, we've got this guy. What do you mean, Spartan? What do you mean you got this guy? Look at the island. Look at his positioning. He's not going to be able to get that thing turned around that easily. So I'm going to use the island to my advantage. I'm going to try to get around the side of him use my Montana's speed to get around the island and catch him broadside. He does get a nasty hit into us here, and that means that we're very close to death. But we get another shot into the superstructure again, hitting for 8,500 with only 2 guns into the superstructure of a Yami. Tell me again how the Montana is just bad, right? It's just bad. But here we've survived. We've managed to push around the corner. We've got a little bit of help from a will to rebuild for a short amount of time there to keep us alive. We've got one more heal coming. And once we get that heal, then we're going to be able to slip in behind him. Now, unfortunately, our destroyer buddy managed to sneak through the gap behind him and torp him. And what I didn't know is that this man is going to be perma-flooding now. And the reason he's perma-flooding, I'm fairly confident, is because he used the damage con from one of the I think we knocked out a gun at some point during the approach. And he used the damage con for that. So he is now perma-flooded, and unfortunately dies before we get to fulfill our destiny of getting around the broadside of yet another Yami and showing him why the Montana is just nasty. But 165,000 damage done, not a bad game. Top 3 on the team. Let me know what you guys think. If there are any ships that you guys in particular want to see, I will try to look through the comments and see what are the names of the ships that are most likely or most coming up, and then we'll do some videos on those. And if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.